Welcome back to another Rotation Hoops video. My name is Marquise, and in today's video, we will be doing a little experiment. So I decided to put Ben Simmons on every single NBA team and see if he can help out other teams, because we all know Ben Simmons heavily underperformed in this postseason, and seeing if he can possibly be better on a different team or a different situation, because we all know Ben Simmons is a very good player, but this postseason he definitely dropped down his value. So we will get straight into the video, but before we do, I just want to remind you guys to please leave a like and subscribe. I will really appreciate it. It helps out the channel. And with that being said, let's get right to the video. Hey, you guys want to see something really cool real quick? So first you see my background, and now you don't. That's just how magic works, I guess. But yeah, hopefully in today's video I explained what we're doing in the intro. I have not actually recorded that yet. But today we will be making a Ben Simmons clone for every single NBA team, as I explained in the intro, hopefully. And we will be putting it on every single team and seeing who can make him the best player possible. Because as we all know, Ben Simmons has struggled in the postseason. And it might be a fit issue with Joel Embiid, I don't know, but today we're going to test it out. And I already made the roster, everything's already good. I'm just going to show you guys actually how to do that. So if you want to make a Ben Simmons clone, all you got to do is create a player. As you see, I already made 3 of them, but I'm actually going to show you guys how to copy. Do create a player, wait for this to load. It's going to load with a random name and body. Do import player NBA, use NBA player, and click Ben Simmons, and then just do import appearance and attributes, and you will get the exact NBA player that Ben Simmons is. And then once you have that, you can back out of all of this, remove changes, back out, and then create roster, NBA, official, whatever. Then you go over here, you can see your Ben Simmons. All you gotta do is just copy him to a team. Make sure they actually have a roster spot. If you have to clear some spots on every NBA team, sure, because they're not gonna have space for him most likely, so you just have to do that. But yeah, I already made the roster, of course, so I'm gonna pull that up and I will be right back. But I've not actually looked at the rosters yet, so I'm just gonna do auto generated rookies. That really doesn't matter. But if you go to rosters, this is the real Ben Simmons. Of course, they're gonna look the same exact because I copied literally the exact player. But if you go over and go over down here, I chose the wrong roster. Now, if we try this again, this time it should actually work. So do that. Boom, boom, roster. Okay, real Ben Simmons. If I go to the next team, which is the Bucks, I believe, they should have Ben Simmons on here. Okay, so I'm not actually going to choose how their roster is, because that's going to do a lot of work for every single NBA team, and I'm not trying to do all that. So hopefully I'm just going to assume the coaches for every single team is going to make the right choices. But yeah, as you can see right here, boom, boom, Ben Simmons is on every single team. It's on some teams he's the best player, and on some teams he's the third best player. It really depends on what team it is, of course. But Ben Simmons is going to help out every team, of course, and it's going to be interesting to see how this season actually turns out, because we all know most teams can actually be pretty bad, and then on other side of things, it can be better if Ben Simmons is on there. But yeah, I'm just scrolling through every single team, so you can see that Ben Simmons is on every single roster. Like I said, he is on the Nets. This is going to be an interesting fit, because I believe they can automatically switch their position if they want to do that, but it really doesn't matter to them. But yeah, I'm just scrolling through every single team, so you guys can, if you guys want to pause and see where he ranks on each team, go right ahead. But I'm going to start simulating and see if anything interesting happens. And it's gonna be hard to tell if the Ben Simmons are, I'm gonna assume that Ben Simmons is going to win an award. If there's 30 of them in the league, I'm gonna assume at least one of them has to win something, at least. So it's gonna be kind of confusing. I'm gonna be really confused throughout this video. I'm gonna have to see which team is from which, and of course, and hopefully we can see which team is actually better. Do keep in mind that trades can happen, so it's gonna be pretty interesting to see how many Ben Simmons we actually have on each team throughout the rest of the season. But so far, Philly is not doing great. Keep in mind, I'm only controlling this team because this is from the main Ben Simmons. And by the way, just saying that a car just drove by my house. But if you guys hear fireworks outside, they're still doing fireworks stuff like I hear right now. But it is July 7th, so I don't know why that's happening. Or I hope those are fireworks at least. But yeah, Philly's actually doing pretty bad. Let me see with the rosters. Let me see what the original Ben Simmons is doing so far. So far Ben is having an alright season, 22 points, 7 rebounds, and 9 assists. Pretty much average for Ben Simmons, I guess. Steals 2, about 1 block. He still has not made a 3. It's going to be interesting to see if a Ben Simmons has actually made a 3, because that's really going to be a good point of this video. But still, free throws are bad. Minutes are high still. Should have a very high field goal percentage, which he kind of had. But yeah, also you're going to see some Ben Simmons has improved. Like, for example, if I can find an example real quick. Actually, they're still about the 87 range, so no change has actually been made for yet, as I noticed. But let me see what the one from the Hornets is doing. 17 points. See, you can see the one from the Sixers is doing a lot better, and it's kind of confusing because they're actually the same player. But boom, boom, and yeah, it's just about the same range. And I'm actually gonna, at the end of the video, I'm gonna go through all players and just compare all the players from the Ben Simmons range and see who was the best, because I'm actually kind of interested to see what is going to happen around with that. It's going to be interesting to see which teams or Ben Simmons has actually made it. So I'm just going to auto draft it and see who has actually made it. So I see 1 Ben Simmons and 2. There's only 2 Ben Simmons who actually made the All-Star team. That's actually kind of interesting. I don't know. Okay, so the one on Team LeBron is actually the real Ben Simmons because it's a 3-time. But the other 1-time, I'm not sure who that is. And hopefully I can see eventually who is that, because that's obviously the second best one, of course. I'm actually kind of interested to see, did an NBA team trade Ben Simmons? And I'm just going to scroll through these real quick and see if I notice one actually happened, because that'll be pretty interesting. Because if you get 2 Ben Simmons on your team, I can't stop you unless they trade Ben Simmons for Ben Simmons. That'll be pretty awkward, actually. But so far, I'm actually not seeing anything. And most likely, maybe in the off season, you're going to get more Ben Simmons trades. Maybe, because I actually do kind of want to see that. But it looks like, unless I missed it, Ben Simmons was not traded. And I guess that's all right, I guess. But yeah, that's pretty much that. If we go to award races, Ben Simmons from the Lakers actually is in the MVP conversation with LeBron. And that's interesting. If I go to Rookie of the Year, of course, I know we all know the Rookie of the Year is memes, of course. But 6 Man of the Year is, ooh. So for the Hawks, actually, that does make sense. But for the Hawks and Nets, Ben Simmons is coming off the bench, and he is in the race for the 6 Man of the Year award. For Defense Player of the Year, I was going to say I'm expecting to see Ben Simmons here, but yeah, for the Magic. So we're kind of seeing Ben Simmons be successful all over the league, I guess, for different types of teams. But Ben Simmons on the Magic is in the race for the Defensive Player of the Year. For Most Improved Player, no, I was not expecting Ben Simmons there. And yeah, that's about it. So that's kind of interesting. So I guess you could say, well, maybe in some cases Ben Simmons is better. But for example, for the Sixers, they actually have a losing record at the moment. And that's kind of bad. But, you know, I'm going to simulate to the end of the season and see what eventually happens with Ben Simmons, because this is going to be a weird video, as you can kind of tell. Or anything else? I just skipped through all that. I am an idiot. Okay, so I'm going to actually look through the award winners right now, because I did not mean to do that. I hit the wrong button. So season awards, LeBron. Well, actually, that's not the stat I'm looking for. Is there actually no way I can actually see who won each award? Well, that's awkward, but yeah. So these are the playoffs. First seeded Lakers, who have the third, or who had the third Ben Simmons in MVP race, I believe. 4-5 matchup: Pelicans versus Timberwolves, Nuggets versus Mavericks, Clippers versus Suns. And then the East we have Nets versus Sixers. That's an 8th seed. Bucks versus Hawks. That's going to be interesting. Heat versus Raptors, and Boston versus Bulls. So if I had to see who actually helped the most off of what it looks like, I want to say the Timberwolves Ben Simmons kind of helped off, because usually they would not be here at all. They would not even be in the playoffs. But if we just actually simulate this, actually I want to simulate round by round. So first off, okay, so we have the Lakers and Timberwolves matchup, Clippers and Nuggets matchup, Hawks and Sixers. The Hawks actually beat the Bucks this time around, so I want to see what that Ben Simmons did. And Boston versus Miami. So this is going to be interesting, and let's see if Ben Simmons can actually win a Finals MVP, because I don't know who's going to make it, but every team does have Ben Simmons, so I'm not going to say he can't do that, because I don't see why he wouldn't be able to. But if we simulate this round for the conference finals, we have the 1-3 matchup, and we have the 2-8 matchup. What is this Ben Simmons actually doing? Because let me look at this box score and see what happens. So for the Hawks, the Ben Simmons scored 13 points, 7 rebounds, and 12 assists, 5 for 11 shooting. All right. And for the Sixers, 25 points, 8 and 12. So this is the original Ben Simmons. And this, I said Ben Simmons, like this was not the original Ben Simmons. So far, the original Ben Simmons is actually doing really successful with playing the clones of himself, basically. But if we simulate the next round, we have all the 76ers have been eliminated, and that was the original Ben Simmons. And the Lakers, who actually had the MVP Ben Simmons, so-called, was eliminated. So we have the Celtics and Nuggets matchup, and let's just take this game by game, really, because I can't even do that because I'm not controlling this team. So actually, I'm just going to simulate the rest of the round. And the Celtics have won the championship. Now, most likely Jason Tatum is going to get this because he is still on the team from what I'm aware of. But yeah, like I said, Jason Tatum is still the Finals MVP. But I want to see what the box score of this was actually, because what did this Ben Simmons do? 14, 4, and 7 with 3 steals, 5 for 9 shooting. I guess he made all his free throws, I guess, so that's something. But if I look for the other Celtics team, 28 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. He definitely had a case, or to say at least he might have had a case. But look at game 1, 16 points, okay. Game 2, 14 points. Actually, it's not really 23 points, okay. Wait, and this team has, I'm looking at the wrong team, but whatever. Yeah, Ben Simmons for sure had a case to win this, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the offseason, because these teams are able to make trades with each other. And if I had to guess, let me just look at who actually got their jersey. Ben Simmons, no. Ooh, this is actually kind of, so wait, so that means LeBron retired? Okay. But I guess so. He got his jersey retired for the Heat and Cavs. So that's kind of interesting, because usually in the first year of your simulating, you don't see LeBron retire. It's usually like 3 years after. So that's kind of unusual. And didn't he just win MVP too? Yeah, he did. So that really doesn't make sense. But I'm not going to do anything in the offseason. Like I said, I'm controlling the Sixers, but I'm not controlling anything pretty much. So I'm just going to simulate to the next of the season, and I will update you guys if anything interesting happens. Like for example, if a Ben Simmons move teams, or if a Ben Simmons say, hey, let's team up and see what happens. But that's going to be interesting to see, and I will see you guys on next season, I guess. Okay, so first thing I realized is the Bucks lost their Ben Simmons, and it looks like to the Pacers, most likely. Actually, I'm not sure. So a team has 2 Ben Simmonses right now, and that's kind of scary. But yeah, if we go through here, has one. I'm trying to see which team has 2 Ben Simmons, because that's going to change a lot. And the Grizzlies lost their Ben Simmons too. So there's a lot of movement in the Ben Simmons range. Most likely they got traded because they're still under contract. But yeah, this is kind of interesting. Okay, so here's one team actually. I kind of didn't realize it even though I was looking at it for like a good 3 seconds. The Heat has two of them, and one is better than the other. And keep in mind, with throughout the offseason changes and everything, it's going to be different to see what actually goes on with these Ben Simmons. But this team has one. The Kings lost their Ben Simmons. Okay. And here's another team with two. I wonder if we're going to run to one with actually 3 players. I'm actually not sure about that. But the Knicks have 2 Ben Simmons, and they also have Kawhi Leonard. So I actually realized that. So the Knicks are a team definitely to look forward to, actually. But is it... So they lose LeBron James because he retires, and then they replace him with a Ben Simmons. Is that a fair trade? Most likely not, because LeBron is one of the most best players in the league ever. But so that's interesting, I guess. The Magic lost their Ben Simmons. I believe they have the 6th man or close to the 6th man of the year, Ben Simmons. Mavericks has 2 Ben Simmons. I'm really interested to see if we're actually gonna see a team with 3 Ben Simmons. But Brooklyn lost their Ben Simmons, but they should be fine. Nuggets still have 1. Pacers still has 1. Pelicans still has 1. Pistons still has 1. Raptors has none. Am I tripped? There has to be a team with 3, right? Or actually, probably not. But this team has 2. 1, none, 1, and none. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. I was really expecting to see one with 3 at least. But there's a lot of teams who took big hits because they either traded them or did something with them. I don't know, unless they released them, because why not at this point? But yeah, I'm going to simulate and see if anything interesting happens. This is Kevin. No. Okay, okay. I was thinking Kevin Love, for example, and that's the reason why I kind of blinked out for a second. Usually they call them by their last name, like Team Durant or Team LeBron, depending on which sound better, but yeah, I was really thinking Kevin Love for a second. I was like, that's why I was confused. But yeah, I'm going to auto-generate this draft and see. Sorry for that notification, I guess. But boom, boom. I don't even see a... Okay, I see 2 Ben Simmons. And both of them are first-timers. I'm just making sure I didn't skip over one of them. But yeah, so Team Kevin has both of the Ben Simmons. And again, I'm really interested to see which one is that from, but I don't know how I would do that. But I'm just going to simulate to the rest of the season, and I will see you guys with the awards. Actually, before I finish that, I'm going to see if there was a team who actually traded Ben Simmons. I'm going to do it the same way I did before, where boom, you just scroll through here and see if you see a Ben Simmons. Because if a Ben Simmons, yep, for example, right here, the Clippers traded Ben Simmons and Patrick Beverley for Kemba Walker and Carson Edwards. So I'm not going to scroll through every single team to see how that affected them, because that's going to take a long time. But, oh, this is the same trade, I believe. Yep. So, boom. Ben Simmons, another Ben Simmons trade. So the Hawks traded their Ben Simmons for Frank Kaminsky and Buddy Hield, I guess. So far we're seeing a little bit more Ben Simmons trade, and I think that's the same trade. Yep. Is there any other trade? I don't think so. Yeah, it's not really looking like it, so that's about it. But we've seen 2 trades, I guess. That's interesting, I guess. So yeah, for now, I'm going to just simulate the rest of the season, and I'll see you guys with the awards. Luka has won the MVP. If I can scroll through here, Rookie of the Year. Ben Simmons from the Lakers, 6th man of the year. And it's crazy because, wait. Didn't they have... I think they had 2 Ben Simmons. That might be the reason why this is on my screen right now. Because The one from the Lakers was in MVP conversations, but now he's off the bench. So I think they did have 3 years, or 2 Ben Simmons actually. But Defensive Player of the Year, Jonathan Isaac, Tyrese Maxey, and Brad Stevens. They were a 60-win team. That's not updated because he's not the coach anymore, but you get the point. So all NBA teams, no Ben Simmons. Second team, no Ben Simmons. Third team, no Ben Simmons. And I was going to say I'm expecting to see Ben Simmons all over the first and second team for the defense, but there's first team and second team. So they're from the Cavs, Bulls, Blazers, and Clippers. So that's about it. They're not going to be on the rookie team, of course, unless you want to make those jokes from like 2 years ago. But yeah, that's about it. And in the playoffs, we have a 1st and 8th seeded matchup, 4th and 5th seeded matchup, 3rd and 6th seeded matchup, and 2 and 7th seeded matchup. And in the East, we have 1st and 8th, 4th and 5th, boom. And yeah, so far it's looking like which team got most impacted off of the extra help, you could say, is probably Pelicans, I guess. Either, again, it's between the Timberwolves and Pelicans. I don't know, but it's still interesting to look at. So I'm going to simulate the first round and see what happens. Most likely, yep, the Sixers have been eliminated. Now it is a Mavericks-Pelicans match. Up Lakers, Nuggets, Celtics, and Nets. And Knicks, I almost said Nets. Knicks and Hornets. So if we simulate that round to the conference finals, it will be the Mavericks facing the Nuggets. It will be the Knicks facing the Nets. Okay, so we have a little New York matchup in the conference finals. And let's see which team is actually the better team. And it is the Knicks. Wait, what? I was expecting a different result out of that. Kevin Durant only scored 6 points. I think he just won an award. No, he was the All-Star captain, actually. Never mind. But yeah, he only scored 19 points. Yeah, so he just struggled in that last game pretty much. Oh, but they got 4-1. But yeah, it is the first seeded Mavericks facing the second seeded Knicks. And I wish I could simcast this, but I'm not actually controlling the team, so I'm not able to. But if we simulate that, the New York Knicks are the champions, and Kawhi Leonard is on this team. I do remember that. So I'm assuming Kawhi will be the MVP, but yeah, he was. But yeah, I just want to see something real quick, actually. Hold on. So right now I'm on all the players, and it's looking like the Ben Simmons from the Sixers is the best overall rise. And that might not be the case because 15 for the Bulls, 18 for Cleveland, 18 for the Celtics, I think that's not a Ben Simmons. But yeah, overall rise, the original Ben Simmons was the best. And they do drop off slightly, or they should at some point. But yeah, 87. And we might see an 86. We might. Which is not looking like. Yeah, so, but the lowest was an 87, which I believe they did start off at. But yeah, technically the worst, I guess you could say, is the one from the Wizards. So that makes sense, I guess. But it really depends on the role from each team, because if you are on a good team with, especially with the good point guards or power forwards, because you could put him over there, yeah, you're not going to have a good role. Most likely you're going to be coming off the bench. But yeah, that will be it from today's video. I just want to simulate the off season. I'm not actually going to simulate another season, but I just want to see if any team makes any trades and see what happens, because I just want to see the potential of another Ben Simmons being traded. Okay, I'll make a deal with you. Okay, I don't know why that popped up, but if we have 3 Ben Simmons on one team, I will simulate one more season just to see if that team can actually win a championship. So I will be right back if we actually do have that. The Detroit Pistons. This is going to be interesting. So they have Shea, Ben Simmons, and Jeremy Grant, and the usual squad. How are they going to do this rotation? I have no idea. But this was the first team I actually ran into with 3 Ben Simmons. So, yeah. I think some of them might have went into free agency. I actually should have paid attention to his contract because I do not remember off of the top of my head. So some of them might have been free agents. Some of them were extended. But, yeah, that's interesting. So I'm going to make sure there's not another team with 3 of them. Oh, I just saw it right here. The Thunder. Okay, so this is actually kind of interesting. So far it's looking like that Pistons team is actually better. But yeah, this team has 3 Ben Simmons on here. Only 1. So yeah, I'm going to simulate one more season and see what eventually happens. But yeah, that's about it. So yeah, the team to pay attention to is the Pistons and the Thunder, I think it was, right? Pistons and Thunder. Yep, so I will be right back at the end of the... I'm just going to simulate this season. And if anything interesting happens, I will let you know. So we're back in the All-Star draft. And how many Ben Simmons made it? I see 1. And that's it. It's a new Ben Simmons because it's the first time they actually made it. I really do wish I could tell who was that, but I don't know. But I'm just gonna keep on simulating, and I'll see you guys in the off season. Not the off season, the end of the regular season. End of the season, Luka again. This is gonna be a common theme. Luka is the MVP, of course, Rookie of the Year. This guy, Ben Simmons, again, this is the 6th man of the year, but for the Thunder this time, that's interesting. Defensive player, Giannis, boom, boom, and the Mavericks have the best record in the league, and that's interesting, I guess. First team, nobody. Second team, nobody. Third team, nobody. But I'm expecting him to be on the defensive team because he's just kind of overpowered for a guard. So yeah, most likely he's gonna have the 4 spots again. And 1, 2, 1, 2. So yeah, for these teams, it was the Knicks and Thunder, who he was the 6th man of the year too. And it is the Heat and Sixers. So yeah, that's about it. And for the playoffs pictures, we have the first seeded Mavericks, like I just said, versus the Timberwolves, Thunder, and Lakers. This was the team. Wait, what was the other team? It was the Thunder and Pistons, who are also the 4th. Okay, so the 4th seeded on both sides do have both of the Ben Simmons. So yeah, so Mavericks versus Timberwolves, Thunder versus Lakers, Pelicans versus Clippers, Nuggets versus Blazers, Heat versus Cavs, Pistons and Bulls, Knicks versus Nets, New York matchup, and Celtics versus Sixers. So I'm going to simulate the first round, see what happens. And Sixers was eliminated like usual. The original Ben Simmons is struggling, or I think he's still on the team at least. Well, actually, is he still on the team? Because I'm actually kind of interested. Box score, yes, he is. Okay, so unless that's a different Ben Simmons, and I'm just stupid. But yeah, Mavs and Lakers, Blazers and Pelicans, Heat and Pistons with the wait. Okay, so the 4th seeded Thunder team who had 4 Ben Simmons, unless they made a trade, which they still have them, didn't make it out the first round. So that's something, I guess. But the other team with the Pistons, who I believe they still do have the 4 or 3 Ben Simmons. 1, 2, 3. Yep. They made it out the first round, so that's interesting, I guess. But they're not making it out the second. So yeah, all the teams with the 3 Ben Simmons is out, and it is the Mavericks and Pelicans and Heat and Celtics. So if I simulate this, that's that. And Heat versus Pelican matchup, I do not know who's going to win this actually, and it is the Heat. I'm just trying to see if Ben Simmons is actually going to win in it Finals MVP because he did. Okay, because I was like, is Jimmy Butler or anybody else still on this team? And I kind of just want to look at this roster real quick. So Ben Simmons, Bam struggled, or he might have struggled. That might have been that one game. But oh wait, Jimmy Butler's still on. Wait, so what happened? Why is I don't know, but yeah, Ben Simmons has won MVP, and yeah, okay, another deal. I'm gonna simulate this. Let's see if anybody made the Hall of Fame. And Dwight Howard, Carmelo Anthony. I'm assuming one of them got their jersey retired, and it was both of them actually. Okay, so yeah, with the teams I kind of assume. But I'm gonna simulate this season. If somebody has 4 Ben Simmons, because I'm trying to get that overpowered team, and I know some of them are free agents now, so you can just sign them. But I'm trying to see if you can get that one overpowered actual team. And if a team has 4 Ben Simmons, I'm gonna keep on going. If not, that'll be the end of the video. So I will be right back. Actually, I just thought about it. Cap space is on. So actually, I don't even think that's physically possible unless the rest of your team is. But I don't think that's really possible unless they took a pay cut for some reason. But yeah, this team still has 3. But that was the only team I've seen with at least 3. And that's it, really. Okay, so yeah, that's the end of today's video. What did we learn off of this video? I don't know, but this was kind of interesting though. So if you guys liked the video, don't forget to leave a like. I don't know why I did this. If you guys want to see another video like this of me doing this with another player, let me know down in the comments. But thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.